I don't think I'd be much good anymore. Can't remember what I had for lunch. Did we have lunch?
Dessert's in your pocket.
Oh. Are there any pictures of the room before the blast?
Yeah, I'll get them to you. I still say that you should have been working with us on this one.
Thought you had a winner, Dietrich.
No, we do. I'd still like to have him on our side.
Well, if she turns out to be guilty, not much I can do about that. Where was her car parked?
Outside to the left, 50 yards.
Excuse me.
Thanks.
Hey, Johnson. How long do you figure I'm gonna have to put up with that rap?
Probably until those cops that you testified against get out of the joint.
They were dirty and you know it.
All the same, Mike, there's just some guys who feel that you're not one of us.
Since when?
Since you turned in your badge.
I didn't get a look at them at all.
What would they want to take from her kitchen?
Well, fingerprints, maybe. Nothing on this knob probably been wiped clean. You know, if they planted traces of that C4 in the garage, they would probably just be thorough.
What do you mean, if they planted it? You don't believe me?
Oh, I have no reason to doubt you at all, but the police do. You want to show us around?
Sure. Whoever broke in here tried to access my computer files. They didn't find my backup.
Oh, nice setup.
Well, I do a lot of freelance work besides the financial press. Sometimes reports for a couple of cable outlets and a non-fiction book, which at the moment is overdue at my publishers.
Wouldn't be about Omnicom by any chance.
No more than a chance.
Which explains why they put up such generous bail.
It wasn't for love. I did a little research on the two of you, by the way.
Why don't I feel flattered?
Says you had a promising career at the police department. Until your first big investigation had the collateral damage of bringing down a few highly placed cops. Anything to do with your leaving the department?
I'll do the interviews, okay?
And the professor, I didn't find much, just one article. It says you work for the police sometimes, the defense sometimes, but always in the background, never in the spotlight.
Spotlight hurts my eyes. Why don't you tell us what happened the night of the murder, after everyone left?
Who told you?
What difference does it make? It's true, isn't it?
Yes, it's true, but I want to know who blew my cover.
Well, I never betray a confidence. But if you're nice enough to me, I just might make an exception.
You know, I don't know if you're sober enough to hear this, but you could really save yourself a headache and some possible jail time if you just tell me about your company's finances.
All right. We have all night.
And I had to practically drag him into another room.
Is that when you left?
Not exactly. It seemed like a good time to do a little search. I tried to help myself, but I didn't find anything. And then the phone rang. It was another phone, not on the main system. It was a private line, I think. I was afraid it might wake him. And then I heard him coming and figured I'd had enough for one night, so I got out of there.
When would anybody have had the time to plant that bomb? Be interesting to know how long it had been there. Could have been a long time.
They knew he'd go to the phone. Yeah, I wonder why he didn't have voicemail in his private line.
Well, when he answered the phone, they probably pushed the remote button. You know how lucky you were to leave when you did?
So, how do we proceed?
We?
Look, it's my case, and I'm a very competent investigator.
Oh, I'm sure you're a hell of a journalist. But this is a criminal investigation.
I think what Mike is saying, we don't want to duplicate our efforts.
Oh, exactly. That's why I'll be working right alongside him. On this disc, I have some bios. There's some really good stuff in there. My guess would be whoever tipped me off to something wrong at Omnicom, they wanted me to get next to Raymond, so they could frame me for his murder.
You don't have any idea who that is?
No, but I think that that's where I should start looking. We should start looking, if that's okay with you, naturally.
That's the one place I could use your help. For as long as it works.
You know, if you two could figure out who this whistleblower is, it would be one great big piece of the puzzle, one way or another. And I should start interviewing the suspects.
You know, Raymond's ex-wife was supposed to be at the party, but wasn't. It'd be nice to know why she didn't show.
Must have had a compelling reason.
And he sent me this photo.
Where was this taken?
That's the building where he made the first drop with the note about Omnicom. And he cut all of the letters out of the financial press.
That doesn't tell you a lot.
No, just enough to get me interested. So I'll see you tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll call you.
Okay.
John?
Oh. I have to pick up some cat food.
Night.
So, what do you think?
Well, I don't know. We really don't know what happened when she was alone with Raymond, or whether they were really involved or not, except for what she told us.
Yeah, well, at least if she's with me, I can keep an eye on her.
Well, I didn't say I was suspicious of her.
You didn't say you believed her either.
You know, it's possible she's being framed. Unless we can find a motive, we have to assume she's innocent. Well, that's the theory anyway, isn't it?
That car wasn't there when we got here.
So?
It's too dark, I can't read the plates.
You ought to wash that thing. Probably just a guest of a neighbor.
Yeah, maybe.
Take it easy in this thing, will you?
Fasten your seatbelt.
Send in the next patient, please.
You're up.
Oh, thank you. Dr. Raymond, I'm Dr. Maxwell, and I thank you for taking me on such short notice.
Well, always happy to accommodate a fellow professional. You can have a seat.
Oh, thank you.
So, what seems to be bothering you?
Well, this isn't about me.
It never is.
No, seriously.
Doctor, please. Are you embarrassed discussing things with a woman?
Oh, no, nothing like that. I'm not here as a patient.
Perhaps you'd care to explain.
I am a professor of criminology, and at the moment I'm working as an advisor on the defense of Cheryl Collins.
The woman who killed Nelson.
Well, that hasn't been proven yet.
My marriage to Nelson was over some time ago, but that doesn't mean that I don't have feelings for him.
Oh, I understand perfectly.
They called me to go down to the morgue to identify his body. Not exactly the way I'd like to remember him. So I hope you don't expect me to be particularly cooperative.
I would only hope you'd be truthful.
That is my business.
Can you think of anybody who might have had a motive to kill him?
There are a lot of people damaged by Nelson. Omnicom is not the cozy little club they'd have you believe. But I guess you'd like to know if I have a motive.
Now that you mention it, yes.
Yes, I've been fighting with Nelson for the last few months over property settlement. Has to do with our divorce. Now that he's dead, I get it all. So I suppose you'd call that a motive.
Well, it qualifies.
Of course, the only problem with that is I wasn't there that evening.
Oh, where were you?
Home, alone, reading a good mystery.
What's that?
My bill. I get paid by the hour, Dr. Maxwell.
It comes to about $50 a question.
Miss Collins, if you do your homework, you'll find that it's Stelladine Inc., Intertech, Compify, are companies formed by Omnicom CFO Nelson Raymond in the last 90 days. And all of them have offshore accounts.
I did some checking with the Corporations Commission and confirmed that all three companies had in fact been set up by Raymond.
What about the offshore?
There's no evidence of that yet, but when the three companies didn't make it into the stockholders' report 60 days ago, I figured it was worth going after. What are you doing?
I'm trying to separate that background noise from the voice.
Did you take it to a lab?
This is a lab.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Okay. Okay, I think I got something.
Miss Collins, if you do your homework, you'll find that Stelladine
Well, they've distorted the voice, so that means it most likely comes from a landline.
companies formed by Omnicom CFO Nelson.
Where's the call coming from? Dr. Patterson isn't just the best ornithologist at this university. He is one of the best in the world.
What do you mean, one of the best?
Certainly the one with the best hearing.
What do you make of it, Doctor?
Very odd.
How odd.
Well, there are not only a lot of birds on here, but not ones you'd normally find together. Parrots, lovebirds, canaries, those are typical, but you've got what sounds like a Patagonian conure. And I think I hear an African ringneck.
Pet stores?
Well, possibly, but there's only maybe a dozen or so that would have that varied a selection of birds.
What about an aviary?
Maybe. There's one in